Vanessa Williams found fame after winning the 1983 Miss America pageant and becoming the first Black woman to win the title. However, how she got there and what happened after can certainly be described as tragic. We'll break it down for you with a deep dive into her tumultuous life. Vanessa Williams detailed in her 2012 memoir, You Have No Idea, which she co-authored with her mother Helen Williams, how she was molested by an 18-year-old female family friend when she was 10 years old. She told ABC News, "It happened one night where she told me, 'Come over here.' I didn't know that it was wrong, but I knew that it wasn't right because I wasn't supposed to tell anybody." In 2014, Williams detailed the incident to Oprah's Masterclass, saying she was in 5th grade when the abuse occurred. "She made you want to feel like you were a grown-up. At that young age, having that happen to you in your body, it awakens your sexuality at an age where it shouldn't be awakened. I think that had that not happened, there wouldn't have been that shame that was always haunting me. It made me more sexually promiscuous." Vanessa Williams had an abortion when she was a senior in high school, writing in her memoir that the experience was, quote, "awful, terrifying, and plain sad." She described making an appointment through Planned Parenthood to terminate the pregnancy, and how years later she still considered herself pro-choice, while also identifying as Catholic. "I'm still pro-choice. Every woman should have the right to choose what she wants to do with her body. I'm still a practicing Catholic. Yes, I did confess, and I'm grateful for the opportunity of forgiveness." Williams remembered lying to her mother at the time, telling her she was rehearsing at school when she was actually undergoing the procedure. "I never directly told Mom about my abortion, but I had a sense that she somehow knew." However, in an aside in the memoir You Have No Idea, Williams' mother confessed that she knew nothing of the procedure at the time. Williams eventually had 4 children, and she told ABC News in 2012 that being pregnant is, quote, "the most frightening thing that happens in your life." At the time of her abortion, she wasn't mature enough to handle the gravity of motherhood. She said, "I knew in high school that's something that I was not prepared to do, or fight, or struggle with." In 1983, Vanessa Williams broke boundaries by becoming the first Black woman to win the Miss America pageant. She told the New York Times, "I was chosen because I was qualified for the position." Furthermore, she observed that the coverage of her victory was more focused on her race than her talents as a performer. "The fact that I was Black was not a factor. I've always had to try harder in my life to achieve things, so this is regular." As Williams told People in 1989, she began receiving racist blowback almost immediately after her Miss America win. "I was getting hate mail from white people who hate Black people and mail from Black people who said, 'You're not really Black because you don't look Black.' I didn't like having my accomplishments negated because of the way I looked. That was harder to live with than anything else." The blowback that Vanessa Williams experienced after winning the Miss America pageant in 1983 included terrifying threats against her and her family, with authorities getting involved to ensure her safety. Speaking to ABC News in 2015, after the Miss America pageant announced that Williams would return as the pageant's head judge that year, Williams recalled some of the drastic precautions taken on her behalf. "There had been death threats against me. I had sharpshooters on the top of the buildings when I had my first parade. In one of the parades down south, usually they have Miss America in a convertible. I had to be inside." Williams told Extra in 2020 that her parents got involved, coordinating with the FBI to help relieve the burden of the danger she felt. "As a 20-year-old winning overnight and having my world changed, I was on my path to appearances, so I didn't know what I was doing. My parents were not only the ones receiving the death threats and having a dialogue with the FBI, but trying to allow me to have some kind of safe haven so I wouldn't be terrified." In one of the most explosive controversies to ever hit the Miss America pageant, Vanessa Williams was forced to forfeit her crown after winning in 1983, when nude photos she posed for at age 19 for Penthouse became public. In July 1984, Williams discovered that Penthouse planned to publish photos she took 2 years earlier, while working as a photographer's assistant. In an interview with People, she said the photographer assured her the images, which were originally meant to be used only as silhouettes, would never be published. 2 years later, following Williams' rise to fame, Penthouse paid the photographer the highest fee in the magazine's history for the images and ran them. Subsequently, pageant officials gave her 72 hours to resign, after which they would officially rescind her title. Williams told ABC News, "It was 2 drastically different images. That was the issue. It was Miss America, who's really kind of untouched in that reality. And then there was this woman in a picture, exactly the polar opposite of purity, and I was a normal kid in the middle."
They took down the sign in Millwood, New York, home of Miss America.
Like many women in the public eye, Vanessa Williams struggled with body image issues and self-esteem. The Dreamin' singer told Ebony in 1997 that during stressful times in her marriage to her first husband, Raymond Hervey II, she dealt with the pressure by not eating and overcompensating by working out. I'd get on the treadmill and do an hour. When I get nervous, I can't eat. People kept telling me how great I looked, but your clothes are falling off and you can't face another day, so I was looking my best when I was most miserable. Williams, who is the proud mom of 4 children, recalled the pressure she felt to change her body after becoming a mom. Entertainment Tonight reported on an interview Williams did for The Talk in 2019, in which she said, "I was asked to come in to meet for Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger. As a singer, I wasn't used to being judged by how skinny I was. I remember being asked by the producer, 'Well, we'd like you to lose some weight.' I literally went on a diet. I considered lipo just to be able to be on screen. I did a lot of Pilates, and I haven't been that thin since." In the years following the scandal that prompted Vanessa Williams to relinquish her Miss America title, she became a celebrity pariah. She told ABC News in 2015 that the controversy was no publicity stunt for her. "That's crazy to think that you can look at a scandal and think that that would be good for your career, where for me, it took every ounce of credibility that I had and wiped it out." Cape Cod Times reported on a 2016 town hall in which Williams shared how she auditioned for a Broadway show several years after her resignation, only to have the lyricist's wife veto her casting, saying, quote, "Over my dead body will that whore be in my show." Her having that perception of me was when I realized what an obstacle I'd have. In her 2012 memoir, You Have No Idea, she wrote, "For me, it seemed like an eternity in which I was the punchline to every late-night monologue. I had to learn how not to take the attacks personally. All in all, I lost about $2 million in endorsements and countless other offers that would have come my way once I finished my reign." Vanessa Williams has experienced plenty of loves and losses in her romantic life. In 1987, Williams married her manager, Raymond Hervey II, whom she originally met when Hervey was a public relations specialist, assisting her with the fallout of her Miss America controversy. The couple welcomed 3 children together, Melanie, Jillian, and Devin, before splitting a decade later. Williams married NBA player Rick Fox in 1999, with the couple welcoming 1 child together, daughter Sasha. Their 5-year marriage ended in 2004, with Williams telling Glamour in 2019 that Fox's career with the Los Angeles Lakers meant he was away from her and her children on the opposite coast. "He was on the road or out in Los Angeles, and after our daughter was born, I was on the East Coast, raising 4 children and flying across the country every 2 weeks." She also cited Fox's age, 6 years her junior, as another challenging aspect of the relationship. They subsequently divorced in 2004. In 2015, Williams found love again, marrying Jim Scripp, a retired accountant whom she met in a completely unexpected encounter during a trip to Egypt. In 2015, over 30 years after Vanessa Williams was publicly humiliated and stripped of her Miss America crown, the organization finally apologized for the role its executives played in pressuring her to give up her title. Williams appeared on stage at the Miss America pageant in 2015, standing next to Sam Haskell, the pageant's chief executive. He said, "Though none of us currently in the organization were involved then, on behalf of today's organization, I want to apologize to you and to your mother, Miss Helen Williams. I want to apologize for anything that was said or done that made you feel any less than the Miss America you are and the Miss America you always will be." Williams, who also took the Miss America stage to perform her song, Oh How the Years Go By, thanked Haskell for his words as the crowd applauded. "So unexpected, but so beautiful. I did the best that I could in my reign as Miss America 1983 to 1984. I'm so honored to be back." In 2020, as Black Lives Matter protests unfolded around the United States, Vanessa Williams spoke out about the fear she felt for the safety of her 4 Black children. She told Extra, "As a mother of a Black son, you have that conversation very early. When you're walking down the street with a group of your friends, guess who they're gonna pick? If they're all white kids and you're the one Black kid, they're gonna identify you. They're gonna remember your face." Williams also took action following the death of George Floyd, joining forces with other Black entertainment professionals to launch the Black Theater United advocacy group, which aims to help protect Black people, Black talent, and Black lives of all shapes and orientations in theater and communities across the country, through activism in the pursuit of justice and equality for the betterment of all humanity. Of the systemic problems brought to light by Floyd's death and the ensuing protests, Williams told Good Housekeeping that racially motivated violence was something that particularly Black mothers are fearful of when they see these incidents arise time and time again. I have a Black son, so it simply needs to be addressed. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.